There we go. Good morning, everybody. How are you guys this morning? Let me see, is my... Okay. Oh, you can see my... Okay, I was getting over under my camera with my head to read your comments. I should make that a little bit bigger. Good morning, Teresa. Okay, Marilia? I hope I'm pronouncing that right. And Daffy, you're here too. Great. Awesome. Can you guys all see the chat? Hi, Arctic Fox. Can you guys all see the chat on the screen? Is that coming through okay? I probably should have made that font a little bit bigger. Good, good. Thank you. I played around this week with a whole different setup, believe it or not. Oh, thanks, Arctic Fox. Good. Good to know. Good to know. I was using Ecamm Live for videos from the time I started up until recently. Well, up until Tuesday. And my chat wasn't showing on the screen like I wanted it to. I wanted everybody to be able to see the YouTube chat as well as the Twitch chat so that, everybody would be on the same page. And I just couldn't get that to work. So I had tried OBS in the past, and maybe it was over a year ago, and it crashed on me all the time, and I just wasn't able to get it set up right. So I thought, oh, what the heck, let's try it again. So I did, and I got it downloaded, and we got it up and running, and that's what we're using today. So this is our first test run to see if things are going to go okay with this software, and if that is the case, then I can get rid of Ecamm Live, which I was actually having to pay for to be able to use that. So this one is free. Isn't that wonderful? which is great. So any feedback with how this is going or how this setup works, I would really appreciate it. Just let me know. And as long as you guys can see everything perfectly, that's what we're after here today. So, hi Leah, thanks for joining. Glad to see you here. This is wonderful. So I got out once again Stitcher's Retreat to stitch on. Who didn't know that was going to be the task of the day? I so want to get this finished. We'll see how much stitching I can do today. Since the last time we were just talking a lot, and that's okay too. It's just fun to, it looks like I blur up a little bit with my focus. Okay, let's see if we can fix that. Maybe, oops, where'd you go? Where'd we go here? Oh, geez Louise. Here we go. Let me see. I hope I didn't lose you, did I? Let's turn off autofocus and go to this. Okay, hopefully that's better and won't get blurry on us. Okay, where did Ooh, 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 ooh. I didn't lose you guys, did I? Okay, you're still there? All right. Somehow. Well, somehow. I don't know where my screen went. Oh, what the Harry? Oh, there it is. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Bear with me, folks. Oh, sometimes I just feel like the big dummy when it comes to this. Oh my goodness. Oh my heavens. Oh, I don't know. Will this old lady ever get this right? Oh, technology. You know, we didn't have all of this when I was growing up. In fact, I didn't even know what a computer was when I was growing up. There was no such animal at that point in time, back in the back in the cave days. So all the stuff that I do, I had to teach myself how to do this. I mean, oh, my husband thinks I'm such a fool sometimes. I sit trying to figure something out and I'm talking and I'm really talking to myself until I can get it figured out. Artie Fox, oh, thanks. I won't worry about it. I just think it's funny. Everything I know, I'm self-taught. I'm one of those people where I'll sit and play with it and play with it and play with it until I either get so frustrated I say, oh, the heck with it, or I get it figured out and get it to do what I want or what I need it to do, which sometimes uh, he just sits and shakes his head and laughs at me sometimes. But eventually I figure it out. Probably I go by way of China to get to New York to get it figured out. But it all comes out in the end. Like I said, we didn't have computers when I was a kid, so I didn't learn like a lot of people today do. Heck, my grandchildren are 5 and 6 years old, and they know how to run a computer or even their iPads more than I do, better than I do, and they're only 5 and 6. Oh, Tori, that's okay. I'm just glad you're here listening. I know it. Oh, you're not being a you're not being a jerk. Just lurk. I'm just happy that people are here. I often ask myself, what? It just amazes me how many people come in and join in the chats or watch my videos, and it's like I'm happy about it. I seriously am. But sometimes I ask myself, why? But I'll take it as long as we can sit here and stitch together and have some fun. Hey, that's what it's all about. So I'm working on Stitcher's Retreat again today, and it is on 25 count, easy guide, easy grid, easy count, whatever, easy something. Um, Thanks, Arctic. I'm glad you enjoy it. I'm glad you enjoy stitching along. Hey, that's what we're all about. Sit here and stitch. You know what? I'm stitching most of the time anyway. So it's just nice to pop on and do a live stream and stitch with other people and have a chat about whatever comes up. So that's a fun thing. So what's everybody else working on today? Like I said, I'm working on Stitcher's Retreat. It's on 25 count, 1/1. I am now, let's see. Oh my goodness, I have 0.1% to go. No, I lie. I have 0.02% to go until I reach 78% finished. It's a long time in coming. I started this piece I probably told you guys this. I started this piece in November. It's either November or December of 2016. I worked on it till December of 2017, so that was a year. I put it away for a year. So I got it back out again in about November of 2018. And I've been working pretty much solely on this since then. So 16 to 17 is 1 year. 18, 19. So this is my 4th year working on this. I'm so ready to be done. So ready to be done. So it looks like I'll soon be hitting that only 20% more to do milestone, which will be absolutely fan-damn-tastic. It's a wonderful piece. It's my favorite piece. It's the piece that got me into Heaven and Earth Designs, to want to stitch them, when I said, for years, I said, never. Ain't no way. Hi, Pascal. Good morning. Welcome. Glad you could join us today. So, yeah, I was one of those people that said, never, ever, ever will I stitch a Heaven and Earth design. Ah, what a big joke that was. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So don't ever say never, people. Never say never. I have this one. I have Window with a View started. I have Once Upon a Time started. I have Jane, the Prisoner of Wool House started. I have Fractal 6 started. So, yeah. Mm-hmm. Arctic Fox, you're working on Dreamy Night. Ooh, it's a cute little fox. Oh, great. That's awesome. 25 count 1/1. You've been stitching for 16 years. Good for you. And it's the first full coverage. Absolutely. Oh, how did that work for you, Pascal? The tip with the Kreinik, did that work okay? Were you be able to be more successful with using it, or with doing that? Because I know Kreinik is a bear. It is a bear to work with. I avoid it like the plague, to tell you the truth, because I just don't like it. I mean, if I have no other choice, I will use it, but that making it damp and locking it onto your needle does help you to control it. At least I thought so. So I hope that worked for you and helped you be able to better manage it. Because I mean, there's quite a few heaven and earth designs that have that sparkle. And I thought about this later. I did want to mention that a lot of folks, when they're using the Kreinik in a heaven and earth, they don't do a full X. We do let me adjust this. There we go. We do a half stitch. That seems to work a little bit better also. And I should have mentioned that on Tuesday, and I honestly didn't think of it at the time. And of course, all these things pop in your head after the fact of, oh, phooey, I should have mentioned that, or I should have mentioned this. But that is one thing. If you do it as a tent or a half stitch instead of a full cross, I think it works better also. So just something else to keep in mind when you're working with Kreinik. I know my friend Barb she's doing bath time, and I think I can't remember if she's doing the mini or if she's doing the full one, but it doesn't matter. That has a lot of Kreinik in it also, and I believe she started out doing a full cross and then found that doing just the half was much better. But I mean, she had gotten the kit, the material pack, and I think because she did it full cross, she started running out of thread where the Kreinik was concerned. So I have to wonder, and again, I'm not sure, I have to wonder if in the material packs they measure out the Kreinik based on the fact that people are going to do it as a half stitch as opposed to a full. I don't know that answer, but it's just a thought, because she ran way short of Kreinik. Maria, thank you. You can see everything. All right. Awesome. That's wonderful. Yeah, I think this is the system we're going to stay with, because it seems, on my end, it seems much better, and I hope the pictures everything is clear and readable, and I really am kind of liking this program a bit better than the one I was using before. So, awesome sauce. Fabulous. Wonderful. So, how many of you are doing the challenge this weekend in Full Coverage Fanatics? Anybody doing that one? I believe it's, what's it called? Confetti something or other. I always have to look because now I can't remember. Full coverage, yeah. It started today. Confetti Conquistadors weekend event. I don't normally do challenges anymore, but hey, Anna. Are you listening from work, Anna? That's okay, I won't tell on you. You're at home. But I did sign up for the full coverage fanatics challenges. I thought, oh, what the heck? Maybe it will help keep me motivated and stitching. To get this thing finished. So I thought, I'm gonna try it. I did think I was gonna do there's another new group out there that is doing challenges, or doing a challenge, and it's called, let me look, I forget, Crystal Academy. And I had joined that group, and I was thinking about doing that one, but it's too many requirements, and it made me feel like I had to have too many projects going, and I don't know. I think I'm gonna back out of that one. Anna, you're off today. Woohoo! Awesome. That's fantastic. You get a long weekend. So you have a 4-dayer. Aw, that's nice. Very, very nice. So anyway, I'm doing the confetti one in full coverage fanatics, and I even thought I'm going to jump in to what's the other one? Tour de France. That one started already, but I think I can easily catch up and do that one also. If I'm going to do challenges, I like to do the ones that just have like a stitch count, where you count your stitches, or you have to do so many stitches or whatever. If I have to match a project to criteria of, say, stitch on something that has red in it, or stitch on something where I have to like make up a story to have have my project fit that, those kind aren't so much for me. I don't kind of like to do that, mainly because I have enough projects going. I have quite a few, and I have some that aren't full coverage, but I don't know, I don't want to have to look for a project or start a project to fit a certain requirement. And the ones in full coverage fanatics are easy. They just really require you to do a set number of stitches. And just for my own enjoyment, I count my stitches anyway every day, and we all know Pattern Keeper makes that so much easier, so very much easier. So is anybody else besides Anna doing any, I should say Lady in Stitches, whose name is Anna? Anybody else doing any challenges? because I'll just lose my place. You guys are quiet today. All getting ready for the big holiday weekend. Oops. Yeah, you're right, Holly. Stitch-alongs aren't exactly the same thing. I have a. I was doing that burgundy band sampler. EJ, the comments are too small for you to read. Okay, let me see if I can fix that. I thought maybe they were too small. There. Now, hopefully I'm not covering up. Well, I don't care. You don't necessarily want to see my face, do you? There. Is that... Oh, no, I do worry. I want you to be able to see, I want everybody to be able to see them and to read them. So is that better? Okay, I probably had my window, look at that. Don't look at my gray hair under the other camera. Is that easier to read? Is it better? I hope so. I hope so. Yeah, I was doing the iStitch burgundy band sampler, which is beautiful. You're quite welcome, EJ. I'm glad it worked. And I'm about halfway through it, but I just didn't keep up with it. And I thought, oh, this would be easy. It's just a real small amount that you have to stitch to keep up, and oh yeah, I can do that. Well, I get so hooked into this one because I have it in my head to finish it this year. And I don't know if it'll be by Thanksgiving. I kind of doubt it. That's a lot of 100,000 stitches till November. Nah. But I get so involved in one piece that I tend to focus on that, and every now and again I'll take a break for, sometimes it's a couple hours, sometimes it's a day or two, and stitch something else, but then I'm going right back. Then I'm going right back to right back to this one. It's like, in my heart, even though I have many things on the go, I really am a monogamous stitcher. I really am. And I know in the past what I would do is I would start something and I would pretty much be monogamous, and I'd stitch and stitch and stitch and stitch on it, and then something else would catch my eye, and I'd be tired of working on what I was working on, So I'd start something new and I'd work solely on that. But that first project I started, I never went back to, because when I'm working on project number 2 that I started, something else would catch my eye, and I have this uncontrollable desire to start that and go, oh yeah, well, I'll go back to this and finish it later and do a rotation, and I never go back to them. I never go back. So I kind of either have to stick with something until, if it's something I really want, I almost have to stick with it until it's finished. I mean, I can take a couple hours or a day or two break, but more than that, if I do more than that on a project, I probably won't go back to the one that I left. And then at some point in time, probably a year later or so, then I go through everything I have started and go, do you really want to stitch this? Do you really want to finish that? Is this still calling your name? And I weed them out and get rid of some. Now, it sounds like I never get anything finished, but I do. Well, as you have all seen, there are many finishes hanging around my house, but a lot of those are ones that I just stuck to and stitched as a monogamous stitcher. They kept my interest enough to hang in there and, as they say, get her done. Now this one, yeah, it's been stitched on for a year, then put away for a year, and it was only put away that year to stitch the stockings for my grandkids. Had I not done that, this would probably be finished. But once the stockings were done, I went right back to this. So how's that? Does anybody else get like that, or are you rotation stitchers, or are you one at a timers, or are you a little bit of both? Oh, Holly, you are to be commended. You're not allowing yourself new starts. That's what some of us, I just joined that Facebook group of no new starts in 2021. So I want to see what their deal is, because I have so many full coverage projects. Well, not so many by comparing to the amount that some people have started, but I have enough started that I would really like to stitch and to finish. So I'm planning on 2021 picking out a certain number of full coverage that I have started and focus on those for the year 2021. Oh, Arctic, you love kitting up new projects. Good for. Yeah. You know what? That's the part I like the least of kitting everything up and getting those first stitches in. I don't know why. I'd rather have it started and I'd rather it already be started and I could just keep on going. But that initial getting it started is not my favorite part. Oh, Daffy, are you stitching for Jules? Good for you. Which can you say which one you're stitching for her? And are you doing the whole thing or are you just testing? I know she was looking for some stitchers. Oh, Arctic, that's nice of you. Well, good morning, Peggy. Thanks for joining. I haven't seen your name before. So I'm glad you stopped by. It's nice to see a new name. So you focus on your one full coverage at a time. Do you find you get bored with it, or are you able to just keep on going? I'm gonna sneeze. Ah, excuse me. Oh. Oh, wow. You're doing the small lioness, the whole thing. Oh, Daffy, I'll have to go see what that one is then after this stream. Yeah, I think she was trying to keep her. Oh, thanks, Teresa and Arctic. That's my daily once a day sneeze. Yeah, it's not, it's more allergies. Thanks, son. It just clears my head for the day. Yeah, it's normal. It's normal. Yeah, Peggy, I hear ya. Yeah, I like the process. Once it's started, I do really like the process. And with this particular pattern, I can't wait to see it up on my wall. Oh, the more of it I get finished, the more of, the more I want to see it hanging on the wall because, oh, lovely. It is a gorgeous, gorgeous design, and it has all those great colors and the women in it and this awesome light in it, if you can see that. And ah, where's the other girl? She's hiding over here. There she is. And it just amazes me with no backstitching. No backstitching, just the use of color, how they get the detail and the depth, and it just totally amazes me. And when you have it, when this is hanging on the wall, you'd be hard pressed to tell that it's needlework or that it's not a painting. That's the part I just find is amazing, totally amazing. But yeah, I love the process of stitching, but I also need to have finishes every now and again. Or, yeah, or I get frustrated that I don't have anything finished. In fact, I was trying to think about that the other day. What did I finish this year? And I'd be hard pressed to say that I finished anything. I mean, if I did, I don't remember. It must have been something small and rather insignificant because I don't remember finishing anything this year. So with these big projects, because I am a go big or go home kind of person, I don't get as many finishes. Which that's okay, because there is a deep sense of satisfaction when you get one of these big full coverage designs finished. I mean, yes, they take a long time. They take a very long time. But to actually get one finished is very, very satisfying. So I'm looking forward to the day this one is done. And yet, I think I'm going to be sad when it's done. I mean, I think there's a certain comfort level in having a long-term project like this to pick up and to work on, and it's like visiting with an old friend. And then when you finish it, how many of you go through a period of, I mean, it's really like a grieving period. When you finish it, you grieve the loss of not having it to work on anymore and miss it. And usually then I go through a little bit of a period of unsettledness, like I don't know what I want to work on. Yeah, I have all these things started, but it's like for a little bit nothing grabs me. Nothing says, oh, now you really got to stitch on this one, or now you really got to stitch on that one. It's like I can't make up my mind what I want to stitch on. When I finish a big one like this, not that I finished many big ones like, but I've finished a lot of projects that have been very large and very time consuming, and it's like I can't settle on the next project right away. It just doesn't. It just doesn't, I don't know, I miss it. You celebrate when you finish. Well, and actually, Holly, we should celebrate. I think it is an awesome thing to actually finish. You have the stitch-alongs, so you have something for a few days before you pick up another large. Yeah, and that's true, yeah. But I even go through, even though I have like my band sampler stitch along, and I have Sheep Virtues, which is a smaller thing that I'm doing as a band sampler. And I have those, but I get very unsettled. Like I might work on one of them for a couple hours, and then it's like, yeah, I don't want to work on that. So then I'll pick up, say, the sheep virtues, and I might work on that for a day or so, and then go, no, I really don't want to work on that. And it takes me a couple days to like flop around projects until I can finally say, okay, I'm ready to work on whatever it is. You know, I pick something and say, okay, now this one's going to be it, and I can feel settled again and go with that. I think it's just missing the one I finished, and you know, till I can settle on something new. All this talking makes me thirsty. Sorry about that. Get a dry fruit. So, well, Crafty Librarian, good morning to you. How are you this morning? Well, that's great. You started your first small linen project. Good for you. Good for you. And it's going okay for you? That's awesome. Now that makes me feel good. Yeah, that's right, Peggy. You do. You get very comfortable with what you're stitching, and I mean, look at when you think about all the time, all the energy, all the, all of your, all of your heart that you put into a project. You know, I guess non-stitchers don't understand all of that, but I think what we stitch is so much a part, becomes so much a part of us, or we become so much a part of it, that, yeah, that we miss it. Crafty Librarian, you are so welcome. I'm here anytime somebody needs some help. Like I said, I am not a professional. I don't profess to be a professional, but I do like sharing the things that I've discovered over the years. And if I can help someone to find a way that's a little easier or makes more sense, or find something that's comfortable for them, yeah, all about it. Absolutely all about it. That's the part that I like, and that's the reason that I do these videos. I like to share those little tips, and you know, if it makes it easier for somebody else, then I feel like I've done a good thing. And you know, this community is just fabulous. And since I started streaming here, I didn't initially stream on Twitch. I really did a lot. Most of my stuff was YouTube. And since I started streaming on YouTube, or on Twitch, and my videos still go up on YouTube, I have met a lot of really special people. And you know, it's just a great community. In fact, when I switched from my previous software to what I'm using now, people here were so fabulous in helping me get started and helping me when I did a practice run video to make sure everything was set up right and working well, and it was just awesome. All I did is say, "Hey, anybody have a minute?" And people jumped right in to say, "Yeah, sure. What can I do for you?" And it's just a wonderful community to be to be part of. I just truly love it, and I think this is just fun to do this. Oh, Crafty, you're too kind, too kind. Peggy, you're in Australia. It's 2 a.m. Oh, good Lord. Go to sleep, my friend. Oh, yes. Go to sleep. You can watch this in a replay. I'll save it so that you don't have to stay up so late. Oh, my God. Bless your heart. Have a good sleep. And yeah, if there's anything I can help you with, just give me a holler. You can always send me a message through Facebook. I'm Karen Bug on Facebook. I'm Needlebug on Instagram. Here in Twitch, I'm Needlebug68. Yeah, I tried to have everything the same, but yeah, I should look into like changing my Arctic Fox. You're in Australia too. You guys, you must be night people. Oh my goodness. I have another friend that watches this. Now she'll watch it after she gets up in the morning in Australia. So, yeah. Well, she's actually Tasmania. But, yeah, 2 o'clock oh my gosh. Although I can't say anything. There's times I'm up till okay, as I say, the butt crack of dawn. It's like I just want to do a couple more stitches, just a couple more stitches. Or then there's nights where I can't hardly stay awake anymore. So I go to bed early because I start doing this. I start yawning. Ugh. But I'm so glad that you guys are joining and hanging out with me today. That's really cool. And it just amazes me. Who'd have thought that we would be able to sit with so many people from all around the world and meet so many people in so many different countries and share needlework. That's just, it's just amazing. Just totally amazing. Yeah. And how this community, for the most part, there are some times that they're sour grapes, like everything. But for the most part, people are so kind and generous and want to be helpful. It's just a good thing. If more people in the world could just be like that, it would be a better place. like I said, since I have found people to be, very, very generous, very kind in all my streaming. It's been a really fun time. Okay, gotta mark off again before I lose my place. And Pattern Keeper is the next best thing to sliced bread. I love it. And if you guys if any of you haven't checked it out, please do. I mean, it's absolutely fantastic. I know Stitching Jewels also talks about it a lot, and she uses it and loves it. Which reminds me, I was watching, I did an early morning store run this morning. My husband and I went for groceries because we had to soon put some food in the house. But after we got back, and before I started here, I was on, oh, Daffy, yes, Pattern Keeper is the bomb, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah, I can't either, Holly. I'm using it now, and I can just sit here and go by color. It's wonderful. But I was watching Country Stitchers this morning on YouTube. They actually don't live far from me. They're in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. So they're maybe 45 minutes at best from me. But anyway, they were talking about a new, it's not new, but a new stand to me. And I'm seriously thinking about it. It's called, let me find it here. It's called, let's get rid of that video. Back. It's called a Potokey, Potoky stand. And there's several versions of it. Teresa Little Stitcher has one, and she did a review on it. But let me see if I can show it to you. It looks awesome. Wait, let me go. Okay, let me do it this way. There we go. Glare. No glare. There. Now that's it folded up. That's it with a hoop in it. However, unlike the Nerd stand that I talked about and absolutely like, it will also hold a small scroll frame, and it will also hold your Q snaps. Is that not awesome? I'm seriously, I need this like I need a hole in the head. Truly. However, that is a fabulous looking stand. It's small, it's compact, it folds up quite nicely to travel with. get it. I think I might have to buy it. I'm seriously seriously considering it. Both Deb and Liz really, really like theirs. So, I mean, there's a good, they just did their video today. I think they either posted it last night or this morning. Can I spell it? Sure. It's Potoky. Here, let's see if I can put it down here. VPOTOKY.com is the website. Yeah, the thing I like my Nerd stand. I really, really do like my Nerd stand. Except the only thing with that is it only holds hoops. And I have a Lowry stand, and that I can use my Q-snaps on. But I don't want to keep carrying that between my porch over here and my living room. And my Nerd only holds a hoop. But that particular stand can take a hoop, a Q-snap, or a small scroll, which it's more versatile. You know, and the Nerd I have to sit on is a sit-on one. And I also have one that's on the table. I can put on the table, or I can put on the floor. Pascal, you have that Potoky stand? And how do you like it? They look beautiful. I saw Luda also has one and reviewed it. Yeah, and the thing with the Nerd stand is you can only use a hoop on it. You can't put a Q-snap on it. Yeah. I saw Teresa has one. I saw her video, and she really liked it also. See, and then all these people, Teresa, if you're out there listening, all these people say how much they love it, and then I think I have to have it. I think I'm a cross-stitch stand junkie. I really do. I've been through so many stands. I've tried so many stands. But that one, it's kind of, oh no, not kind of, it's calling my name. And I'm also thinking, since you could set it up on a table, it might be easier to use when I'm doing my stream, rather than sitting here holding a hoop and bouncing it all over the place and making you seasick. And I could get, maybe focused in a little bit better than what this is. I don't know how close you guys like to see the stitching. Do you like to see it up close and personal, or is this okay? So those are, always. Oh, it takes a long time to get it? Does it really? But I think, shoot. I think. Does it take a long time to get it because they're made to order? Or is it the shipping to the United States that takes so long? Because now when I looked on the website, if I remember correctly, let me look again. It tells me that there's 100 available. So I'm thinking maybe it's the amount of time for the shipping to get from, I forget what country they're in. I can't remember. It doesn't tell me on their website what country they're in. Or if it does, I'm not seeing it. Ah, the Czech Republic. Okay. That's where they're from. So it may be shipping. Yes. Anna, see you later. Oh, go pick up your new glasses. All right. All right. Yeah. See you later. Have a good day. Shipping is $50. Yeah, I would believe that. The floor stand. Okay, Holly. Shipping's $50 for the mini. Are you telling me the floor stand, that's the price of the floor stand, and then it would be shipping? And the table stand, that's the price, and then there would be shipping? I know shipping from Hi Jennifer, how are you? You were at the grocery store. Well, if I would have known you were going, I would have gave you mine, and then I wouldn't have had to go today. I was there this morning too. Okay. So it's the price of the stand, and then you would add the shipping onto that. Wowzers. Yeah, the other models are, I think the one I was looking at, which was the mini, was 155. 155. So then 155. You were hurrying to get home to catch me, Ollie. Jen. Oh, that's too cute. Thanks. Thanks for coming back. You guys are the best. Yeah, the mini's the cheapest, and I think that's the one I would get. I don't really need anything bigger than that. So yeah, so you'd be talking about $200 till you put the shipping onto that. Yeah. But you know what? I would rather spend and have a good, reliable Jen, you didn't kill anybody on the way in your hurry. Were you speeding? Oh, you're funny. Make me laugh. I would rather spend the money and have something that's good and well made than try and go for something cheaper that isn't gonna last. So methinks I'm gonna have to order it. And then I will say, don't tell my husband, but he doesn't really care anyway. Hearthside Chris. Are they the one that make the Mark II floor stand? Hearthside. Or is that what you have, Holly? Yeah. I think if I get some of them mixed up anymore. There's so many stands out there these days. Oh, okay. They also make table stands and an attachment that will hold a Q-snap. Now here's the thing. Here's my thing. I have a hard time sitting at a table to stitch for any length of time. Yeah, sitting straight up at a table to stitch for any length of time is kind of not my thing. Mainly because after 45 years of being a nurse, I have done a number on my back. It just doesn't tolerate some stuff anymore. And sitting long periods of time stitching at a table is one of the things that my back just doesn't take. So in fact, right now I'm sitting in my recliner because that's the easiest for me to stitch in. So I either need a stand that's going to sit on my lap or that I sit on in order to stitch comfortably. And the thing is, it's hard to do like this lap stand, and you say it rests on the armrest of your lounger, and that's all well and good, except when I'm doing projects like this that are way wider than a 20-inch scroll rod. See, that's not going to fit. And I really would rather not do a floor stand in my living room. So maybe let's see what their table one looks like. See, again, yeah, that would have to sit on a table. I don't know. There's so many choices out there. So many choices. So I think I really think I'm kind of leaning towards that other one I was talking about, that Luda and Teresa use. That one seems to be, at the moment, calling my name. Now, could that change till tomorrow? Of course it could. Absolutely it could. Because, see, then it's like, okay, now don't make any rash decisions. Oh, that would be great, Holly. You could either send me a picture to my email, or if you're on Discord, you could put it in the Discord. I don't have that open right now, but I surely can do that. Or you can send it to me through Messenger, or however your heart desires. So, but there's so many stands out there. Yeah, I agree with you, Holly. I looked at those, and yeah, they're so big, and yeah, I don't want a System 4. That one never. And I know there's people that love them, and you know what? There's a stand out there for everybody. There really is. You know, different strokes for different folks. But that one is not one that I routinely went back to look at. I've heard good things about it. I've heard bad things about it, and that's just one that didn't jump out at me and say, "Woohoo! You need to do this one," because it just didn't. It looked clumsy, and it looked like it had it took a lot of room. And I just didn't want something that big sitting in my living room. Oh, I think you're right. I think you're right. For people who do tapestries and needlepoint, it probably does work very well. But for cross stitchers, we're a whole nother breed, I guess. Oh, and I always said I'm such a fickle pickle. Um, Finding the things that it takes me a while to find out, to find what's really truly going to work for me. I have gone through so many stands. And so then, of course, you know, every time you see something new, it's like, well, maybe that's better yet. You know, maybe that will work better yet. And then there's times I come back to my old, what did I do? My trusty little 5-inch, my trusty little 5-inch hoop. I mean, that's what I started stitching with. But, you know, I'm really would like to continue to avoid having to hold it, having to hold a hoop in my left hand. I'm right-handed, I hold the hoop in my left hand, but this poor hand has been through, and those of you who have followed me on YouTube, and probably the folks in Twitch don't know as much, but this hand has given me such a problem over the last couple years. I had to have surgery on my thumb for basal joint arthritis. So it's like the bone that's at the base of your thumb in here and the bone above it were bone on bone and arthritic. So I had to have the little bone taken out. They took a tendon that runs up your arm here and wrapped that around and filled in the space. So that's why I kind of have this little divot here, because there's no bone in there. There's just tendon in there that's cushioning the joint. So that did help. It made it better. But then I lost all strength in my wrist. I could barely pick up a dish, a plate, to hold it in the sink to rinse it off, like after we would eat and put it away. So I put up with that for a while, and then finally said to my hand doctor, we really need to do something about this. So he injected me with cortisone. Well, that did squat. That did absolutely not much of anything. So then the next thing I opted was to have arthroscopic surgery in the joint, because there's a joint over here on this side of your hand, and that was all inflamed and arthritic and what have you. So he went in with a scope and cleaned out everything in here. So that's better, and I'm getting my strength back. But I still have another joint that's down here a little bit further that's bothering me. So I see him about that in another couple weeks, and he may or may not inject that. So with all of that going on, probably my holding a hoop like this is not helping things. And I really should be using my nerve stand, but it's a little hard right now to get that set up to be under the camera so that you guys can see my stitching. So that's another reason I'm thinking about buying that Topaki? Is that how you say it? Buying that stand, because then I could probably set it up right in front of me here or on my lap and be able to have it positioned that it will focus for you guys to see and still be at an angle where I can see what I'm stitching. So see, now do you know what I'm doing there? I'm rationalizing, and I'm talking myself into buying it. Yeah, that's what I do. And my husband doesn't care. He just shakes his head and goes, "Oh, now what did you buy?" Yeah. He'll just shake his head. That's where I have gotten very lucky. Oh Oh, Arctic Fox. Yes, it is the only rational thing to do. Oh yeah, I can come up with a I can probably come up with a rationalization for almost anything. Now sit here and talk to myself. I can either talk myself into it or talk myself out of it. Yes, Nina, I do have a Discord. Well, it's not my Discord. Sky Fox and Rebecca and a couple other people set it up. Called it is called I can't remember. Twitch Stitchers. I think that's what it's called. Sky, are you here today? I can't remember if I saw your name or not. Um, Arctic Fox, you're on it, aren't you? The Discord that Sky Fox set up. Let me see. I'm not signed into it, but I can. And then I can tell you what it is. There it is. Okay, it is called Twitch Stitch. Yeah, you want to do? Could you do that, Arctic Fox? Send a link. Um, yeah, that's. I usually try and keep it open, and I forgot about it today, but I usually try and open it um, when I come on here in case there are any issues that someone can message me, because the one video I sat talking to myself for what, an hour, and no one was on. Okay, I thought no one was on, and I thought I was talking to myself. But here, you guys were all there trying to tell me that the chat wasn't working, and oh my God, it was hysterical. But now we're now we're good. We're absolutely good. Hi, hi Bear, how are you? So far today, I have been on about an hour and a half. I'll be here a while yet, as long as I can think of stuff to ramble on about, or if somebody has questions that they need answers to, I'll be here. I'm not in a hurry today. Already did my groceries this morning before I went on. I was with the grandkids. I was with the grandkids yesterday. Well, my daughter went to physical therapy. She's now able to put weight on her foot. She had bunion surgery, and she's in a boot with crutches. Now she can put weight on her heel and walk with her crutches. So that's progress. So I was there yesterday while she went to therapy, because the kids are not physically going to school. They are attending school via Zoom they actually have their classroom, and that was her choice. She could have physically sent them, or and what she chose to do was keep them home. They're on Zoom, and they're actually with a teacher the whole time. So they're not just independently doing whatever on Zoom. They're actually with a teacher, um, and the teacher's directing the class. So that's working out really well, but she needs someone to stay with them while she goes to therapy. I mean, they're only 5 and 6, so Emmy's in kindergarten and Abram's in first grade, and they sometimes need some help with what they're supposed to do. But they're so cute. So while they were, before I left, Emmy says to me, Nana, can we call you tonight and play Minecraft? So they called Nana last night, and we played Minecraft for a while, but I told her we're not going to play for real long, because then you know how it gets. My grandson has taught himself everything there is to know about Minecraft. And then he gets frustrated when Emmy and I don't know how to do something. So I said, we're going to keep it to a half an hour. So that worked very well. So Nana did that last night. So what am I missing here? Yeah, you're right, Holly. I don't think a Hearthside would work for a big project. Yeah, well, um, I'm thinking it would be okay if I had it in a Q-snap and had the excess tucked in a grind guard. It may be okay. I might have to talk to Teresa Little Stitcher and see her thoughts, because from what I understood when she did her video on it, she is converting her stuff from scrolls onto Q snaps. So it might be an option. I have to ask her. I'll have to send her a message and see what her thoughts are on it. Yeah, there's just so many options out there. So many options. There's something out there for just about everybody. It's just a matter of finding the one that's going to work the best for you. I think that's the hardest part. That's why I've been through so many so many scroll frames. Not scroll frames. So many stands. I mean, I think I find one that's going to be the best, and then something else comes along and it's like, oh, that might work. Yeah, Jen, I use the one that, is it Bonnie Hope, that her husband makes? Yeah, I tried that one too. Yeah, and I had the Elan, and I didn't fall in love with that either. I'm just fickle. Just fickle. I think what I didn't like, well, no, I don't think. I know what I didn't like about the Elan is I had a hard time when I put the Q-snap in it, getting the Q-snap to stay tight, um, tight on the stand. It was always drooping, and I just couldn't get it. I couldn't get it to stay stable enough. Congratulations, I received 100 messages today. Well, isn't that just sweet? Yeah, and you're right. The method for each project it may be different. You know, I think each project kind of tells you what it wants. You know, it's the same way with when you're actually stitching on it. I think they all tell you in their own way what they want you to do with what you're comfortable with. Even the method of stitching, I think the project dictates what method you're going to use. And like this project, this Stitchers Retreat, and I've talked about before, has all kinds of different methods of stitching on it. You know, I think a project will tell you if it wants to be stitched cross country or on the diagonal. And on the diagonal, does it want to be stitched one row at a time? Is that the best way? Or is it the best way to do cross country in the diagonal? I think a lot of it is what is your comfort level, which way do you prefer to stitch, and when you start that project, the project is going to say, hey, I want you to do this. I think we'll have a better result if we stitch this on the diagonal, or I think we'll have a better result if we stitch this cross country. You know, it's all how it speaks to you. You know, right now, I'm stitching down the columns, and I'm going 2 across at this moment. So that's 20 stitches wide down the column. I'm feathering into the next column where I can. This is black here that's going to butt up against this, so there wasn't too many options to feather over there. But this seems to be for today. It could change tomorrow. Oh no, Holly. You're frogging. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, but I think, you know, your piece tells you how it wants to be stitched. It's I mean, they speak to me. Yeah, mm-hmm. And they say, well, for today, this is what we want. We want to go in columns, feather those columns so you don't get lines, because, you know, depending on the lines, you're not going to get them out. And just merrily stitch away. You know, I'm stitching basically cross country within the column. You know, I think parking is definitely the way to go sometimes. However, was finding it was getting kind of on my last nerve. So that's why I switched to color completing. I was just getting annoyed with all those threads hanging. You know, when they get in the way, and I just I need to be done with this. So I worked them all in, and now what I'm actually doing is, when I start the column, taking the block, and whatever that first color is, I'm stitching that color until I either run out of thread or there's no more symbols of that color. So then I go and I take whatever the next symbol is and do the same thing and just gradually work down that column, whether it be 1 column wide or 2 columns wide. I just fill in the color till, again, either I run out of thread or run out of symbols for that color. Then I go back and I take the third one and do the same thing. And I found that that keeps me pretty much on target, and it fills things in without leaving a lot of stitches unstitched. And believe it or not, by doing it this way, just in this session, just in this, how long are we here? An hour and 40 minutes, I've stitched 200 stitches. So really, that's not bad. That's not bad at all. Alright, if it's your first time parking and stitching on the diagonal, we'll see how it goes. Yeah, give it a try. There are people that absolutely love it. There are people that say it's not for them. You know, it's find what works for you. There's no stitching police out there, so you're free to do whatever your heart desires within there. Some people stitch row by row, stitch by stitch. Some stitch like a 10 line section and park in the next, like Carolyn Mazzio shows going down a column, only they go down the diagonal that way. Some just do cross country within the diagonal. It's just an experiment, and that's the only way you can figure out what is going to be best for you. Rebecca, hello. How are you today? Thanks for stopping by. But it's really just play around to find what you like the best. I am just fine today. Thank you for asking. No problem being late. I'm gonna hang out here a little while yet. So it's okay, you were late. I'll forgive you this time. No, I'm kidding. I will forgive you for being late. Yeah, I've even thought about, it's Friday. You know what? I have to always stop and think what day it is. I got up this morning and felt like it was Saturday. Oh my gosh, I get so once you're retired, it's like all the days run together. It's like, if it wouldn't be for my phone and looking on it to see what day it is or what the date is, I would be so confused. So confused, because they all feel the same. They all feel the same. But anyway, experiment. Find what you like the best and what works the best for you. And what I think I'm going to do, and I have to ask, this piece will be going to total framing to be framed when it's done. Terry and her husband own the business, and her twin sister Sherry does the framing part of it, and they all happen to be good friends of mine. So I'm going to send it there. They're in Fairfax, Virginia. I'm in Pennsylvania, but I'm going to send it there to be framed. But I'm really toying with the idea, and I just may ask her if she can do it this way, to frame it with the back open, so that the back isn't covered. Because if you think about it, the back, or the front looks like the front. You know, it's the same. It looks, you can't tell what technique I used where or any of that. But the back tells the story of your stitching journey. The back, by looking at the back, you can see, oh, okay, she started out doing cross-country stitching by page, and then she switched. Oh, Holly, bye, thank you for stopping. Hope to see you next time. Have a great weekend. Enjoy the holiday. But the back shows your journey. It shows that you tried different techniques, and it shows what you learned along the way and how your stitching developed. At least that's how I feel about it. You know, there's a story in the back, and if you frame that, if you have it, or you frame it, or you have it framed, that back is open, people can see that story. You know, I'm toying with that idea, because there's a lot of story on the back of here. There's all kinds of different methods of stitching. There's, you know, tried one, switched to another, went back to it, switched to something else. You know, that's just my thought. It also can can show how your abilities got better as you became more proficient at stitching. You know, there's a lot to tell there. You know, I had a friend at one point who she stitched in hand, and gosh, I wish I could do that well, but I can't. But she stitched in hand without a hoop, without a Q-snap. She just held the fabric in her hand, and she did the stick and stab method, or push and pull, or whatever you want to call it. And, you know, from a distance, it looked fine. And she, for some reason, we were at a stitch night at a local shop, and we were talking about stitching, and we were talking about um, tension with your stitching. And she handed me her piece and said, see, I'm very consistent with my tension. And okay, if you haven't figured it out by now, I am a what you see is what you get kind of person. I am not going to sit here and lie to you. I'm not going to sit here and tell you, oh, that looks great, when there's something that can maybe be done differently, or to help you do something a little bit better. I am one of those people who will just come out and say, yeah, it looks great, however. Because if there's a way to improve, if you don't tell somebody and talk to them about it, things aren't going to change. Things aren't going to get better. And like I said, I'm what you see is what you get, and I will be very honest with someone. And she handed me this project and said, well, here, look at my tension, what do you think? And what I said to her was, I really can't tell what your tension is because your stitches are so inconsistent. Because what she was doing is missing the hole. So if she was crossing this X, this top stitch, instead of going in the hole right here, it was going over an extra hole. Or she was splitting and only going over one thread. So, there were inconsistencies there. So what I said to her was, it's hard for me to tell because, do you see here, this stitch isn't crossed correctly. This stitch is over here and that stitch is that. And she was like, oh my God, should I just start over? And she was over halfway through the project. And I said, no, you don't start over. What you do is get yourself a magnifier, even if it's a pair of cheater glasses that you put over your other glasses, and from here on, you make every attempt to not do those things and fix it. Because what that does, what this piece is then, is a record of your stitching journey. This is what my level of, for lack of a better way to put it, what my level of expertise was when I started this piece. But now you can look at this piece, and here till the end, you can see how much my technique has improved. So, it's don't start over. They are records of your journeys. They tell the story of your stitching history. So why would you want to start over? Why would you not want to leave that as a legacy of who you are and what you did? And how you have progressed, and the person or the stitcher that you have become over time. We leave a legacy, I don't profess to be, I'm not a professional stitcher. I am just Joe Schmuck like anybody else. And I try to do my stitching the best way that I know how, and have it look a way that makes me happy. But I also am not afraid to try different techniques, because that's how we grow, that's how we learn, that's how we become better at what we're doing. You know, you're not gonna perfect things and become the best that you can be, or the best that you are happy with. Because what's the best that I am happy with might not be what makes you happy. So everyone has their own definition of what is the best for them. So keep that story, you know. Don't restart just because you think it's not such good stitching. Just keep going and show your progress. Show in that piece how you went from point A as a stitcher to point B as a stitcher, and leave a legacy. You know, that's just my opinion. That's just my rambling of what I think it should be, or how I think it should be. But it's like I said, I'm not going to sit at a stitch-in with somebody who says to me, "What do you think of this?" and tell them an untruth. I've been stitching long enough. But I'm not going to lie and say, "Oh, that looks terrific," when maybe it doesn't look so terrific. But the others, you know, but what goes along with that is, if I am honest and say to somebody, "Well, you know, I can't really tell what your tension is because of X, Y, or Z," the next step of that is to say, "However, if you do A, B, and C, it will be better, and you can make it better. So let's try that, and then let's touch base again and see how it progressed." But, you know, one of the things I think is important is, even when I was in management as a nurse, if you have to tell somebody that something is wrong or not right, you still end it with how they can fix it, and have it end on a positive note. You know, we can fix this. This can be fixed by doing X, Y, or Z, and I'm going to help you do that. So that you're ending with something positive. Because if you leave somebody with, "Oh my goodness, that looks terrible," and don't give them the alternative, and don't leave them positive, they're going to give up. And we don't want that. We don't want people to give up. We want people to enjoy this craft and enjoy their stitching. So, yeah. Okay, that's my little soapbox. Thank you, Rebecca. I don't know how else to be. I am who I am. And yeah, I'm not gonna lie to somebody or sugarcoat something. I'm gonna say, that's how it is. Teresa, you did that a time or two. And I've done it too. I missed and crossed over too far, or missed and hit in the middle and didn't quite make the X correctly. And yeah, I try to catch it right away, and I usually don't get very far before I catch it and can fix it. And you're right, Rebecca, people can't get better if no one tries to help them, you know. And sometimes the best that we can do is offer. And if people don't want that help, that's okay. that's quite all right, but at least I know I've offered help to people, and they didn't want it, and that's all right. But just know that should you want it, it's there. Daffy, you call it the sandwich effect. Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah, absolutely. Sandwich the negative with two positives. Absolutely. And I'm sure in education you find the same thing. If you don't end on a positive and you're ending on a negative, people will give up and lose their self-confidence and lose self-esteem and all of that. And yeah, it's ended on a positive. And I have to it brings to mind a discipline that I had to do when I was still working. I think most of you know I am a nurse. I will always be a nurse. But I was an assistant director of nursing. And I had to discipline somebody one day for, I don't even remember what it was, but I brought her into my office and we went over the error of her ways. And we went through all the things. This is what was. This is how it needs to be. This is how we can get there. And then, give her the kudos of all the things that you do right. And never before have I had it happen, but till we were done in my office. Now here was a woman that was being disciplined. It was a discipline that was going on her record, and she thanked me for it. I kind of just was a little dumbfounded that someone would thank me for giving them a disciplinary action. But I think what that shows is if you use that technique and end on a positive with people, she knew what she did wrong. She knew how to fix it. She knew the expectation. But to actually thank me then for, we're going to do this together and I'm going to help you, was just blew me away. But that was my management style. That's my style with teaching needlework and helping people out. Hey, this is what's wrong. This is how we can fix it, and we'll get through it. We'll get through it together. Yep, that's one more phone call that doesn't have a number. We just turned them off. Where am I here? I lost my... Oh, well, hello, Apollo Mom. How are you today? Oh, thank you. I'm glad that you have learned some things. Like I said, that's why I do this. That's what makes me happy, and it's fun. It's just fun to be here. I feel like sometimes I'm just sitting here blathering and rambling, but hey, sometimes hopefully we ramble about things that can be beneficial to other people and they can learn some things. We didn't talk too much about stitching, but hey, I got actually 200 stitches stitched today, and that is a lot. Because usually on these streams I don't get anything stitched. Oh, I find that funny. But yeah, we got about 200 stitches today. Yeah, that's exactly right, Rebecca. I treat people the way I want to be treated. There's an old saying, you reap what you sow. You reap what you sow. So if you're going to go around this world being a negative Nelly, and that's what you're going to get back. If you go around this world being kind and treating people how you wish people would treat you, that's what you're going to get back. Works every time. Oh, Rebecca, you worked under a DON that was like that. Loved working for her. I felt appreciated. Yeah, and I think that's true. When I retired, I had so many people say, I don't know what we're going to do without you. Oh, I'm sorry, but I'm retiring. I can't do this anymore. Yeah, in fact, I even had residents say, I don't want to be here if you're not here. Broke my heart, but it didn't change my mind. I was done. I was ready to be done. But I think having people feel like you appreciate what they have done and what they are doing, they're more apt to do the things you ask. You know, because my way was not, I need you to go get that blood pressure. My way was, when you have a minute, could you get so-and-so's blood pressure for me? Now, if it went an unusually long time, then it was, did you forget about that blood pressure? Could you go get it, please? If I had to ask the third time, then it was, no, now you need to go do this. Okay? But most times, people are going to be more compliant if you treat them well. And actually by saying, when you have a minute, you're giving them a choice. Now, if they choose not to do it at all, then it comes down to a point where, okay, you no longer have a choice. Now you need to do what you have to do. So Rebecca, are you a nurse also? I'm curious. And there are many styles of management out there. But you're right. You get back. You guys are right. Karma gets those who aren't nice. Yeah, it sure does. It sure does. Karma comes back to bite you if you're not careful. Yeah. Like I said, I had my style. Not everybody's style was like that. And people were, what are we going to do without you? Because the other side of it was, even though I hired people, I fired people, I did all the disciplines, I did the reports to the Department of Health, I did all kinds of stuff, but I also was one of the first ones that if I was going through a unit and someone said, a resident said, I need to go to the bathroom, my method was to go grab a CNA and say, hey Rebecca, can you help me? So-and-so has to go to the bathroom. She needs 2 people to do that. Do you have time to help me go do this? I wasn't the kind of nurse that went up to somebody and said, hey Rebecca, Mary needs to go to the bathroom. Would you go take her? No, it was, hey Rebecca, Mary needs to go to the bathroom. I am happy to help do that. Do you have time to help me? So that also works very much in your favor. people would go, "You're going to help us?" Yeah, I do know how to do that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I do know how to do that. Yeah, I'm going to help you. It's all about not expecting people to respect you. It's about earning the respect of other people. Yeah, and you're absolutely right. Oh, Crafty, I'm curious as to Stitcher's stitching habits. Do Stitchers stitch every day to accomplish so much progress, or are most Stitchers fast? Let me see. I think there are those of us that stitch every day. And I'm going to say I stitch. I'm really not that fast of a stitcher. I stitch a lot. I stitch many hours in a day. So I think everybody's different. And I don't know that stitchers are fast, really fast stitchers. I think the ones that have a lot of progress are people that stitch a lot. Yeah, because, I mean, if I really sit down and have at it in a day, I can do anywhere from 500 to 800 stitches a day. But then I have days like this where I'm sitting and chatting and stitching, and I've done 200 today, and that's okay. I'll get more done later in the day. So I think a lot of stitchers stitch every day, especially when you're older, like I am. You're going to see those of us that stitch. It looks like we're stitching fast, but we're really just stitching a whole lot. Okay. The nurses that yeah, I think you're right, Jen. Heather, you're a registered nurse in labor and delivery. Yeah, long-term care. I loved it, yes. And I was a psychiatric nurse before I was a long-term care nurse. And believe me, the two are very similar. They are very similar. Oh, but yeah, it was good. Hi, Diane. Glad you dropped by. Oh, Rebecca, didn't that make you mad? She hunted you down, left his room, hunted you down, then went back to the nurse's station to sit down. Yeah, there are nurses out there that are really like that. What really used to upset me was I saw it, well, when you work in long-term care, as you know, there's probably more LPNs than there are RNs. And when I would hear an LPN say, I went to school so I didn't have to do that. Oh, that would just not sit very well. Because you are able to do everything that those under you are able to do, whether you like it or not. That's the way the world works. And yeah, that would blow my mind too, and that would just irritate me no end. I went to school so I didn't have to do that. Well, just because you went to school doesn't mean that you can't do those things anymore, or that you shouldn't do those things. It means you are able to do those things, and then you need to provide what needs to be provided. Just my little soapbox once again. Okay, Diane, purchased a nerd stand and hoop. Do I need to wrap the hoop to prevent damage to my humongous project? No, you don't. You can if you choose, but you don't. I have many nerd hoops. I have not wrapped them. I do not I do not have this on a nerd hoop. However, the ones that when I did put a nerd on this, I did not wrap the hoop. I did not take the hoop off after every stitching session. It stayed on, and was not bothered by hoop marks. Once I took it off, and it might have been a week later, and those marks disappeared. The other thing to that is, and I think we talked a little bit about this the last time, people worry about the hoop crushing their stitches. And yes, hoops will do that. I'm not going to deny that. Hoops will crush your stitches. However, I don't know about you, but I know about me. I've been working on this piece for 4 years. You can't tell me that there ain't some dust and dirt in here. This is going to get washed, absolutely washed. And then I'm going to wash it in a little bit of Dreft laundry detergent. Dreft is what we use to wash baby's diapers when my little girl my grown daughter was a little baby, and I washed diapers and hung them out to dry. Dreft laundry detergent has sodium perborate in it. And sodium perborate is a non-bleach oxidizing agent which will take out stains and dirt. Clean baby's diapers very well. After I soak it enough to get all the grid lines out and wash it, I'm going to lay it on some bath towels and roll it up and press on it to get the excess water out. I'm going to then take it to my ironing board, which I have padded with some terry towels, some bath towels. I'm going to lay it face down, and I'm going to iron it till it's dry. When you do that, all your crushed stitches are going to bounce right back up, and they're not going to look crushed anymore. They're going to fluff back up. Everything's going to look even. Even those spots that you thought were a little lumpy because maybe they had some excess thread behind them, you're ironing all that. It's going to flatten all that out. It's going to look fine. So when people get all upset about, oh my God, I'm going to crush my stitches, my thing is, I don't worry about that, because I know that once I go through that process, my stitches are not going to look crushed anymore. They're going to fluff back up and look just absolutely fine. So, whether to wrap a hoop or not wrap a hoop is certainly your choice. You can wrap the inner hoop. You can wrap the inner and the outer hoop. Or, like you don't have to wrap either one. I don't. The thing is, when you wrap, and this will happen with any hoop that you wrap, it's not just a nerd hoop or just a Hardwick Manor hoop or whatever, but that wrapping is going to take up some space. And what I found when I wrapped both the inner and the outer hoop, I had trouble because that took up so much of the space when you go to tighten the screw, I had trouble getting my fabric on and getting it tight enough. I just didn't care for that. But again, it's personal choice. It's what you find works best for you. If you want to try wrapping, go for it. Go for it. If you need a tutorial on how to wrap, I believe it's Mary Corbett's site, and she has a video on how to wrap your hoop. So, certainly check that out. If you need me to do a demonstration of that, I can certainly do that. The next live stream, I would be happy to do that for you guys. It's not hard. It's just a little time consuming, but I would be happy to show you how to wrap a hoop. So if you need that, let me know, and I'll be happy to do that for you. But again, it's your choice. I don't wrap mine anymore. Daffy, you stitch all day and into the night. I'm with you. I hear you. Oh, Rebecca, I'm sorry that nurses made you feel that way. I am so sorry that happened. There's no reason for it. They shouldn't do that. And those are, let me guess, those are probably nurses that are there more for the almighty dollar than they are to take care of people. You can usually separate them out quite quickly. Teresa Little Stitcher, you are here. Oh, thank you. Thank you for joining. I'm so glad you're here. And by the way, before I forget, thank you for the offer. But as you see, I got my chat in the window where you guys can all see it. What I did is I switched the software that I use to stream. I have a MacBook Pro, so it's an Apple product, and I was using Ecamm, and I was having a heck of a time. And when I did some more research, I found out that Ecamm was not compatible with Restream Chat. So I had tried OBS before I started live streaming, and I was just doing YouTube videos, and when I tried to install that and use it, it kept crashing on me. So that was maybe a year and a half or so ago that I tried it. When I first started doing YouTube videos, in fact, it's probably more than that. So I thought, okay, it's been a while. It's probably been improved. So I will try it again. So I downloaded OBS, installed that, and lo and behold, I was able to get my chat in the stream. I was able to get it all set up, and I was a happy little camper. And Sky Fox came on the other day and checked it out with YouTube and Twitch to make sure I was getting the chat from both places on the screen, and away we went. It all worked. So now that made me feel extra good, because Ecamm, I was paying an annual fee to have that. And as we know, OBS is a free software, so I saved myself a little bit of money too. But thank you for your offers. Had I kept having trouble, I would have certainly taken you up on it. And I appreciate that so very much. But thank you. Like I said, this community is just awesome. I mean, there are so many people willing to help each other. it just does my heart good to know that that's out there, that, at least this is one place in the world where people are willing to help each other and be kind and all that good stuff. And Diane, you are so, so welcome. I'm glad that I could help. Absolutely, that's why we're here. So, you got questions? Ask away. Apollo Mom, you are so right. I could not have done my job if it were not for nursing assistants. They are the backbone. They are the backbone. Absolutely. Absolutely. And kudos to each and every one of them that does that work, because you know what? They work hard. They are so underappreciated that they deserve the recognition. They deserve it more than I did as a nurse, because they're the ones doing all the hard work. Yeah, so you know what? You guys are the best. Aw, thanks, Teresa. You're too kind. You're too kind. Yes, but like I said, I so appreciate your willingness to help me. But you know what? I'm one of those people that I will sit, and my husband laughs at me all the time, but I will sit and try and figure it out myself. And I will talk to myself. And I can sit, if I have to sit hours, I will get it figured out one way or the other. I guess I'm one of those people that really doesn't like to ask for help unless I really, really have to. But like I said, I had to ask somebody to come on and make sure that they were seeing what I was seeing. So yeah, it all worked out. It all worked out for the best. It's awesome. Candy, hi. I did not finish Stitcher's Retreat. This is it. We're still working on it. We have, let's see if I can show you here. Yeah, we have here, up here at the light to do yet. And we're working, I have it kind of rolled up here, but I have all this to fill in yet. I have about another 100,000 stitches to go. Will I get it finished this year? I have no clue. I have no clue. I'd like to get it finished this year, but I'm thinking if I get it finished by July of next year, I've done well. I don't think it's going to take me that long, but that's the ultimate goal. Now, I have a friend who says, oh, Karen, you can get it done by Thanksgiving. No, September, October, November. That's only 3 months. I don't know if I can do 100,000 stitches in 3 months. And I'm not sure if I can do 100,000 stitches till the end of the year. So if it's not finished by then, it will certainly be finished at the beginning of 2021. But yeah, so we're still working on it. We're still working on it. And it is my main focus, so it is what I'm working on 90% of the time. 90%. Teresa, if you are still here, which I think you are, how do you like your topaki? Is that how you say it? Your topaki stand? The one you showed in a video? The one that you can put your Q-snap on? I think you use it in your office, if I'm remembering correctly. because sometimes I don't remember correctly. I don't know if you watch them, if any of you watch them, but Country Stitchers was talking about them today, and it made me think that that I might have to get one. Not that I need another stand. But I'm seriously thinking about it. It looked rather nice. I have a Nerge, and I like my Nerge, except my Nerge only uses hoops, and I can't put Q-snaps on that. And not that I always... Yeah, oh, Arctic Fox, aren't they? I really like to watch Country Stitchers. They're good, and they're very interesting. I especially like Liz's Gadget Corner. I think it's fun. Yes, your desk stand. Yes, that's the one. You love it. Oh, great. And you can put it in your lap, if I remember right. Diane, I don't know how you would substitute the clamp on the Nerge, because that's like a molded plastic piece that you can't adjust the opening. What would you put on there to be able to hold a Q-snap? It only holds small hoops and snaps, though. Okay, would it, I probably want to put my Heaven and Earth in the Q-snap, but I don't use bigger than an 8x8 Q-snap. Yeah, Diane, do you have one in mind that opens a little larger? And on the desk, yeah. Now, I would probably want to put it on my lap, because I have trouble sitting up or sitting in a straight back chair like that for long periods of time. I've done my back in a long time ago. Too much lifting. Degenerative disc disease. Yeah. Don't get old, stay young. Yeah, I think I might have to try it. I think I might. I might have to find a little bit of way to maneuver the excess fabric. And I'll tell you something else I will do differently the next big project like this that I start. Instead of starting at the top. Oh, that would be great, because I'm going to be around all weekend. I have no plans this weekend. So if you go live, Teresa, I will definitely drop in. Absolutely. That would be awesome. I could really like that. Thank you so much. Arctic Fox, you have to sit with your legs above your heart. Yes. That is hard to do. Yeah, you almost feel like you're laying down half the time. And then try and find a way to stitch like that. Oh, bless your heart. That must be difficult. Yeah. I get it. But you know what? When there is a will, there is a way. Oh, I'm sure there is candy. There's a cheap lap stand that I can put a hoop on. Um, but I have, my Nerds will hold hoops. I would like something that would hold my Q-snap. So to replace the piece on my Nerds with something to hold a Q-snap, I'm not quite sure what that would be. It would be nice. Oh, Teresa, you're too sweet. Oh, thank you, thank you. I love your videos. I always look forward to them. And now I'm going to look forward to your live sessions because you joined us here. That is so terrific. So terrific. Yeah, I don't know what kind of clamp I could switch it to hold a Q-snap on my Nerds. I have to think about that. I have to think about that. It needs to be, a whole different kind. But it would have to be able to fit onto that, to that end. I'm not sure. I am thinking about, I mean, the other ones that are out there that are similar to that, I hope I'm saying it right, Topaki, is the Dubco, Dubko, but I don't know, they only have sofa frames and floor stands. See, and that's the thing, I need to be able to sit in my recliner. Now they do have a sofa frame that has the supports where you can just set like your Q-snap on. Diane, that would be great. If you come up with a solution, let me know. That would be great. Yeah, so oh, what's that? Okay. I mean, I looked at these two. There's just so many choices out there. Sofa frames, but they don't have floor hoop hold. Oh, no, wait, that's a floor. Hold on. Hoop holders for the table. Okay, that looks similar to the Topaki. That looks similar but different. Now, it shows it with a hoop, but I'm not so sure it would hold a Q-snap. So, I don't know. I won't jump into it right away because, like I said, I need another stand, like I need another hole in the head. You know, I do have my Lowry, but I don't like to carry that between the two rooms. And that's my thing. I either am over here or over in the living room. And if I had one over here and then the other in the living room, I wouldn't have to carry the stands back and forth. That's my thought. But then again, I think I have to try everything. What can I say? What can I say? But Diane, if he finds a solution, that would be great. And, and then let me know. Let me know what happens. Okay, guys. Well, guess what? I have been on here for the best part of 3 hours, and I think it is time to bring this wonderful session to a close. Teresa, I'm sorry I didn't stay on too long after you got here, but I will look for you this weekend. That will be great. So I think I'm gonna call this an end, and I am going to wish those of you in the United States a very happy Labor Day weekend, and enjoy your weekend, and hopefully you get to spend it with some friends and family. Even if you get to spend it with friends and family, be safe. Please be safe. Wear a mask. Social distance. Do the right things. And just have a great time. Oh, thank you guys all for stopping by. It has been fun. I just really enjoy these. So I'm going to say bye. I will see you all next time. Before I forget, Tuesday, I have to go down to the grandkids again because my daughter has physical therapy, and that's at 1 o'clock. So I'm going to probably stream earlier on Tuesday, and I probably won't be on as long, but I will get a session in on Tuesday. I'll probably start, rather than 11 o'clock, I'll probably start at 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. And then I'll have to cut it off in time to be able to get down to her by, let me make sure what time it is at. Okay, I have to be down to her by 12. So I can probably do 9 to maybe 10:30 or so. Okay? So, change in time for Tuesday. We will be here. It will be earlier. So, I will see you all then. Have a great weekend. Stay safe. Stay healthy. Be kind. And see you next time.